I stopped posting on social media for an entire month, and it did not go how I thought it was gonna go. Let me explain. Yo, what's up? Welcome. My name is Bobby. I do a daily drawing challenge. Been doing it since 2017, and maybe you can quickly see where this is going and why it's like a notable thing, a daily drawing challenge. I post every day on social media, and yet I stopped posting on social media for an entire month. Kind of. That was admittedly a little bit of like a thing to pull you in, because I still posted on TikTok and Instagram, but that's because I have to. I had a purpose behind it. You know, I have so many social media accounts, and a lot of them I don't do anything with, but just to like name a few: Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, obviously, Facebook, I cross-post there all the time, Kara, Artful, and like the other ones, like LinkedIn, Snapchat, I don't even post on those. I don't really at all, but you get the point. I have so many social media accounts, and honestly, I think approaching a little bit of like a burnout point, and so I made an out-of-the-blue decision at the end of August. Yeah, it would have been August. I made a decision completely unprompted last month on, I think it was the last day of August, to just cut all of the unnecessary stuff from my social media posting routine. I stopped posting on everything except for those two platforms, Instagram and TikTok, and even on TikTok, I streamlined it a ton, not even posting like, you know, content with me in it for the most part, just posting photos with a kind of like the side-by-side side-scrolling thing. The algorithm did not like it, but I gotta say, doing all that kind of stuff, it's been interesting. I think my goals of streamlining things for this month have definitely worked out. And by the way, speaking of social media, if you want to follow along with my daily art challenge and all that kind of stuff, and maybe now getting back into posting on like Twitter, Facebook, Kara, Artful, all that kind of stuff, follow along, hit that subscribe button. It really helps the algorithm decide that this is good content or something like that. First and foremost, I kind of felt shitty about not posting on social media, especially because it was like an impromptu, just kind of like, I'm not gonna do it. I need to do this, and I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell the people on the social media accounts that followed me for my art that maybe expected me to be posting art, that I wasn't going to be posting art. I didn't make like a statement of like, hey, I'm going to only be posting on this for a month. I just kind of did it. So I did feel a little bit shitty about that. Even though I've moved past the whole gotta grind out, get on your grind set, Gary V, 50 content pieces a day, I was in deep in that kind of mindset a couple of years ago, probably. It's been a couple of years. And so I've kind of moved on beyond the need to do that, right? I've learned a lot about social media through doing that, but that mindset, it still lingers. It still is prevalent in a lot of the things that I do. And whenever I post on social media, I'm like, well, I could be doing more, but you know. And so honestly, like, there was a couple times during this whole like month-long, I guess, pseudo challenge for myself that I felt like I was totally dropping the ball. Like, is my social media just gonna crumble and I'm gonna have no following again and all that kind of stuff? But to my surprise, the numbers did not change. Don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but the numbers did not change. Even on TikTok, like, I barely lost any followers from only posting photo content, which, again, like I said, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing that, like, nothing changed. But I thought that I was going to lose a massive shit ton number of followers who followed me for my daily art on those platforms, but that didn't happen. Now then, aside from, like, the validation of other people or the input of other people and my fear of losing the numbers, right? Another huge thing that I noticed was an improvement in my capacity to give a shit. I was so deep in the tunnel of tunnel visioning, it's unreal. Taking a step back allowed me to kind of like really see how much I've been doing over the past couple of years. The past, like, I started TikTok in 2019, like right at the end of 2019, so I've been really kind of doing that content grind ever since then, and without a real break. Honestly, I've had versions of a break, and I've posted TikToks that I'm sure you could find about me talking about this, but like my version of a break in a daily drawing challenge was just making less art. Not making no art. Not just like stepping back entirely from the canvas, not stepping back entirely from social media and posting every day, but just posting less and changing up the style of art that I do. I made a video at one point of saying like, hey, if you ever want to see how much creativity I have during the day or during my daily drawing challenge, just look at the quality of the art. If I'm posting a fully rendered and illustrated piece that's like has a background, colors, gradients, shading, all that kind of stuff, I'm like amped, right? But then other times, like if I'm just posting like basically an elevated smiley face on a post-it note, it's rough. The art block just must be hitting me that day, and I don't feel like doing anything, or I didn't feel like doing anything that day, if that makes sense. And there's a gradient, a spectrum of things in between, and honestly, this was kind of, in a way, my first real break, at least on the social media side, in like 7 years. So that was a thing. And honestly, the past couple the past couple weeks have felt very similar to how my daily drawing challenge felt when it started back in 2017, when I would just post whenever, I would post whatever I wanted, and I didn't give a shit necessarily about the quality. I just fit it to my energy levels, and I didn't put any pressures or like expectations on myself of doing things in like a content creator way, if that makes sense. I just posted, and I got very, very nostalgic, similar vibes to that, and I loved it. Straight up, I loved it. And I also learned a lot about art and my own creativity and social media in general. Because like if you're that deep into social media, you probably know what I'm talking about. My fellow content creators, if you're from my TikTok and you're a mutual of mine on there, you know what I'm saying. Even aside from a daily drawing challenge, you know what I'm saying. And a couple things that I really noticed about not posting on social media, I have a list here just because I didn't want to forget anything. Firstly, and I guess this is in no particular order, but social media is ridiculously draining. Like, holy shit, it is ridiculously draining, and if you're not prepared for that, it can totally mess up your energy and your creativity and all this kind of stuff. From everything else going on in the world, which is very important, to just random brain rot content, to comparing yourself to other artists in similar positions or positions that you want to be in. It can just be like a wombo combo of just like comparisons and energy draining and just an uppercut of like fucking just you know. So there's that. Also, it was a good reminder that I'm not a machine. You're not a machine, and nobody should pretend to be a machine. With AI being ever so present and it growing at an almost exponential rate, there are a lot of people who are beginning to realize that AI is bullshit and switching off to have a preference of like consuming actual real art. But yeah, just with so much AI nonsense nowadays, it's like you cannot compare yourself to the production of other artists. AI will impose a fake, totally make-believe sense of urgency, you know, once it really gets going, and I don't think we've seen the full weight of it yet. I don't think we've seen the full impact of AI yet on all of our psyches. So with the mix of like people realizing how bullshit AI is and like how bullshit the content grind and content mill production machine is on TikTok and Instagram and social media and all that kind of stuff is, paired with the realization that you just want more human, real things, I feel like there is some good change coming in that regard, so that's cool. And, as well, consistency can look different to different people. You know, it's not only about how often you post, it's about the quality at which you post. You can make 10 posts a day, but if they're all shit and saying the same thing and bullshit, who's gonna consume it? Like, it doesn't make sense, right? You have to figure out a schedule for yourself, and as well as I have to figure out a content schedule for myself away from that posting 50 times a day Gary Vee style grind. that works for me. And this was a good little first step at doing that. Also, maybe, no, I don't want to say like the most important thing, but a very important thing that not posting for like a month allowed me to do was it allowed me to just like take some time and look at art. It allowed me some time to gather some inspiration and creativity from other sources to use in my own art. And honestly, I didn't have this written down anywhere, but it kind of really connects. I was just talking about like how, you know, AI mass-produced garbage will inevitably, I think, just kind of collapse on itself in many ways. It'll probably always be around, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be good. Like, there will be a pinnacle of AI, and at some point, unless there's a change to it, we'll just start reflecting its own AI trash as it's fed into its own system, you know? And like, so many people are speculating about like an AI bubble and how you're going to reach a certain point where it's just going to start, you know, eating its own shit. And we might be at that point already, but also in a similar way, you can use this as an analogy for the art that you make yourself. Totally by human hands, right? At least I've noticed this. In so many of the drawings that I've posted at like 11 or, you know, 11:30 p.m. that are just like a quick scribble, right? I'm not learning anything from that necessarily. I mean, maybe. I'm saying like the way I was approaching it, I'm not learning anything from that. I'm not growing my artistic abilities. I'm not challenging myself in new ways. In doing that, I've like set myself up in my own comfort zone and just started mass producing the same old shit every day. That's no way to grow as an artist. Straight up, it's like, if it's fun and enjoyable for you and you don't want to get anywhere with your art, then fine. Like, you don't have to, but a lot of people, they're doing art because they either want to become an artist, they want to grow, they want to develop their skills, they want to maybe be an artist, like in the industry, be an artist. And really, like, one of the things that I learned from this no posting challenge is you have to push yourself to grow, right? And if you don't do that, then you're going to end up with the same stuff time after time. And if I want to be an artist, right, and if you want to be an artist, then doing stuff like this every single day is not going to be enough to cut it, right? You have to push yourself and push yourself in more than one way. Like, you can't settle necessarily, right? There's areas in which you can kind of get away with the bare minimum, but in art, it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication. And if you don't really push yourself, you risk falling into the trap of being complacent, and you can end up burning yourself out through that complacency and shit like this. Right? Obviously, I put a little bit more effort into my daily drawings than that. Like, if I was to refine that, I could make a daily drawing and post it today and just like do nothing throughout the rest of the day. That's no way to become an artist. Like if you gotta do this stuff, like if you're working a grindy ass job and you have like no time in the day and that's how you can improve, do it, of course. But if you have a lot of time, right, you gotta do more than this. And in order to do more than that, then you have to allow yourself the breathing room to do that. So take that for what it is. If it's valuable to you in any way, take it and run with it. Use it in some respect. Let me know if it was valuable in some shape or form or way. And yeah, keep making art. I guess this was an outro. I still want to do a little bit of a recap, so stick around if you are interested in my daily drawing challenge in any way, shape, or form, because we're coming up on October, and that means stuff, typically. Am I going to be doing Inktober this year? No, but I'm going to be doing something similar because I just saw posted to the Arcane Instagram that they're going to be doing an Arctober. An Arcanetober. Whatever. You get the point. Arcane themed drawings all October long with its own official prompt list and hashtag and all that kind of stuff. And as someone who loves Arcane and TFT and that, I have to. At least a little bit. I think I'm going to try to go throughout the entire month, Maybe I'll interject with some ink drawings, like traditional Inktober style, just unnamed from the Inktober brand. I want to draw some Arcane stuff. I've been super into it. I've been super hyped for Arcane Season 2. I think a lot of people have been. So this could be a good mix, and I could even start posting it here on my YouTube channel as well, and see how it goes. And like, maybe, because a lot of these concepts seem like they could take a while, I might use this as another expanding opportunity of like allowing myself to finish the daily drawings when I am finished with them and go back and draw them more. That sounds probably very weird to other artists who don't do a daily drawing challenge like I do, but in my daily drawing challenge, I often just make the same old daily drawing and shove it in a sketchbook and forget about it. And I never go back and finish it. Even if it needs like an extra touch up here and there, I just never finish it. I never feel like I need to go back and finish it. And like, maybe I can use this as an opportunity to do that kind of stuff. Who knows? We'll see. Also, it'll probably be digital and not inked, because good God, because like, holy shit, I really love drawing, but I'm also really shit at backgrounds and creating a character portrait with like the likeness of someone. I just, doing that traditionally, it just doesn't compute. It just does not make sense. You know. So like, I'm probably gonna do that digitally, like I did my Jinx portrait. Like, was that over a month ago? Was that like a month and a half ago at this point? I did a Jinx portrait that I really loved, by the way. So yeah, I could probably repost that too. So yeah, all in all, if you've stuck around this far, thank you so much. I think this has opened up a lot of different opportunities for me to do stuff like this more in the future. Maybe do other month-long challenges of like maybe removing a step of the process. Like for instance, I could probably go back to my roots of just posting whenever the fuck I want, because honestly, who cares? Like in the beginning of my daily drawing challenge, I was posting just at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., making art at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and posting it the next day, and like just like all that kind of stuff. It was still on track for a daily drawing challenge, but like honestly, the only way to track it is like with the honor system. And like honestly, I've posted so many times after midnight in the past month as I've been doing this no posting challenge that like I can go back to that without blinking an eye. Well, blinking an eye, batting an eye, whatever. Like I could seriously do that. And additionally, what if I just didn't post like at all for a month, a couple weeks? I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could like actually do that like to myself, because I just genuinely love like sharing stuff and sharing the process. But like, if only posting on 2 social media accounts for an entire month had this much of an impact on how I see art, imagine not posting at all on social media and just focusing on the art. That might be something, but I don't think it's going to be something anytime soon. But we'll see. If you guys enjoyed this video in any way, shape, or form, if you got any value out of it, let me know. If you don't post on social media like that in a similar way, I don't know. Let me know what you thought of this in a comment below. I'd be happy to hear your guys' feedback and your guys' opinions. And if you've done something similar, I'd be super interested to see what you guys have been up to as well. So then, that's the video. Thank you guys so much for watching and sticking around through my very lackluster YouTube schedule. I don't have a schedule at all on YouTube, which I might be able to change because I have a couple of video ideas that I do want to do, but that's all up in the air. Yeah, if you guys want to stay in the loop about what we got going on social media, all of the links to that will be in the description or somewhere on my channel. Share this with a friend if they are also a content creator or an artist or someone in any way, shape, or form who can get something out of this video, because I know there's at least one person. All of that kind of stuff really makes a difference for small channels like mine, and so I would be very grateful if you did all that stuff. Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I gotta do some art now and edit this video, so see you in the next one. The temptation that I have to make this my daily drawing for the day is ridiculous. I gotta restrain myself.